Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our Discord server, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So as you can see, Cardano is finally seeing some kind of move to the downside. Now, of course, this does not confirm that the fifth wave right here is in, but like I said, it is very possible that the fifth wave is in. We already got to the, needed support zone, well, actually needed resistance levels, and we should get a correction right now. If you look at the daily chart, it really does look like we will get a correction, but of course this could be a fake out. We will see what happens. To confirm that we will actually get a bigger correction, we kind of need a break below 87.8 cents. And if we do get a second wave move down right now, we need to get to about 91.7 cents and 60.5 cents. Now we should not break below 60.5 cents. I don't want to see that, because then we will also almost break below the bull market support band as well, and we cannot really afford to break below the bull market support band right now. So we need to stay above that. And this is pretty funny to me, because 1 month ago, nobody was really, thinking that 72 cents would be a correction target for the Cardano chart, but here we are, and people are waiting for a correction right now. We did have a correction already. You could have bought down here. I cannot guarantee that we will get a big correction, because you had all the time in the world to buy down here. And if you can remember what I said in my previous video about the previous cycle, here we did not really have a big correction. We went up in the first wave of the third wave, and then the price just went sideways. Yes, we did drop like 35% over here, but that was it. That was the second wave move down. We did not get anything else after that. That was literally it. And if you look at what's happening right now, we could say that we already had a 35% correction. Now, I don't believe it was exactly a 35% correction, but here we drop about 25%. This could have been a good time to buy. Right now we are also going down a bit. We went down about almost 16%. And if we continue going down, we will most likely, let's say we go to the 0.226 extension. If we do get to that level, from this high right here, that would be a 30% drop. In the last cycle, we got a 35% drop. Right now, that would put us at 85 cents. So I do not believe we will see ADA below 60 cents for a long time right now. And I would not be surprised if we do not get any type of correction. Now, of course, we need some type of correction to confirm that the second wave move down is in, because, the Elliott wave count needs a second wave move down before the third wave of the third wave. And who's to say that this is not it right here? Of course, I'm expecting it to be a lot more, let's just say, deeper. It has to be deeper than this. This is not really enough, but, it does not have to get to my support zone. It could literally get to like this zone right here, and that could be it. But keep in mind, if we do get a bigger correction, we should stay above the support region right here. Now, of course, there is a chance that my wave count is not correct. There is a chance that the third wave is still happening right now. I doubt that, to be honest with you, but it is possible. And we'll see what happens in the next couple of months or so. Well, not months, actually weeks. And we'll see what Bitcoin dominance does, because, Bitcoin dominance is going down again right now. Well, it's actually going sideways. So it's really hard to say what will happen with it this month. But if you can remember what I said in my previous videos, in the previous cycle, Bitcoin dominance went up in December, and then it went down quite a lot in January and February. But it also went sideways here. And right now, what's happening right here could mirror what's happening in this cycle. Now, of course, we have not gone sideways for too long, but maybe it is the case that we just do something like this on the Bitcoin dominance chart until like January or February, and then it starts dropping like it did right here. As you can see, it took some time for Bitcoin dominance to actually get this huge drop. It did not happen all of a sudden. This wick to me looks like this wick right here, and if that's the case, then I think it's very likely that we go sideways. Now, does that mean that Cardano will not go up during that time? Well, absolutely not, because if you can remember what happened here, let's say during January and February, Bitcoin dominance went from about 73% to about 59%, so that's, let's see how much, that's a 19% drop, and during that time, Cardano went from about 19 cents or so to about $1.50. So even though Bitcoin dominance did not really do that much, Cardano actually went up quite a lot during that time. So it is possible that we do the exact same thing again, but don't forget, in the last cycle, Cardano pretty much went sideways for a whole month before we actually did something, but then in January, exactly when the year started, we had a pump, and yeah, it continued for a very long time. Now, you also need to know that Bitcoin is also going down, so it finally got rejected by a support zone right here. Well, a resistance level, I'm sorry. And yeah, I mean, we went from about 103k to about 92k, but that was it. That was the entire correction, and we now recovered. We are back at 97k, so it is very likely that we just continue going higher, like I have been predicting for a very long time now. I did predict that Bitcoin will get to 100k this year, and it did get to 100k. But I also predicted that we will most likely get to 120k, and of course that's a newer prediction. I believe I said that a couple of weeks ago. And why do I believe that? Well, it's because Bitcoin always goes up in Q4 of a halving year, especially in December. In 2020, it went up like 40% or so in December, and in 2016, it went up 30%. So if we want to follow what we did in the previous cycles, we kind of have to continue going up. And if Bitcoin continues to go up in December, it is very likely that Bitcoin dominance just goes sideways instead of down or up, because, you know, some altcoins are moving, but Bitcoin will also be moving, so that's what happens when both of them are moving at the same time. Bitcoin dominance just goes sideways like it did over here. But keep in mind, here it went sideways and Cardano went up, so it's really hard to say when Cardano will start going up again, but, you know, don't expect the second wave move down right here to take too long. Also, what happens after the second wave move down? Well, we should see a third wave of the second wave. Now, I'm not gonna give you a target zone for this third wave, because if I do that, if I give you a Fibonacci retracement for that, I mean, you know, the main target would be at like $5, which I think is a bit unrealistic. And why would it be so high? Well, because the first wave is so impulsive. So yeah, I don't want to give you a target zone for that. Let's just say that the third wave needs to be, well, more impulsive than the first wave. And I would also like to see it copy what it did in the previous cycle right here. If you can remember, in the previous cycle, after we had the 1-2 setup right here, we had a third wave of the third wave, and that third wave got to pretty much the previous all-time high right here. So if we want to do what we did over here, we should most likely get above $3.16 in the third wave of the third wave. Do we have to do that? Obviously not. I mean, the minimum target for the main third wave right here is the 200% extension of the 1-2 setup, and that's at $2.98. So of course, we don't have to copy exactly what we did in the previous cycle, but, you know, so far we have been copying every single thing. For example, the 1-2 setup right here. This happened at the exact same time as this 1-2 setup, although the structure of this 1-2 setup is not too similar to this 1-2 setup. This right here is actually more similar to what we have right now, but keep in mind this did not happen during a halving year, and this did, so yeah, and here we also had a pandemic, so it's not the same thing, but things are looking very similar. And if you can remember, after this 1-2 setup, I did tell you that at some point we will get a third wave, like we got over here. And what do you know, we have a 1-2 setup on the charts, just like we did over here. And right now we are going in the third wave. Here we went up about 100% in November. And I did say that if we did it in the previous cycle, there's a chance that we do it in this cycle as well. We did it in this cycle as well. However, we went up way more than I was expecting. I was expecting a 100% pump. We got like a 300% pump, which is obviously a lot more than 100%. And yeah, I mean, things are actually looking very bullish. We are at the 0.618 extension of the previous all-time high, and there is some resistance here, as you can see. We are kind of getting rejected by it, so if we do get a bigger correction right now, that would not surprise me. This is a very important level. But once we get above this level, I mean, if you can check out what happened in the previous cycle, once we got above that level, yeah, we just went crazy, so we'll see what happens. Also, check this out. Here we also had trouble staying above it. We got above it and then we dropped below it. So we'll see what happens with this. If we do get above the 0.618 extension, then I'm expecting Cardano to get to about $1.78 extremely fast, and then to the all-time high, and that will most likely complete the third wave. Of course, I will be able to count the 5 waves for the third wave as well, so don't worry about that. I will give you target zones for these, and yeah, I'm expecting Cardano to top somewhere between, let's say, $5 to $8. But I did say that $12 is also possible just because Bitcoin will go to crazy all-time highs. and I'm expecting it to get to about 255k in this cycle, and if that happens, then of course Cardano will also be able to get like $12 in a more bullish scenario. Now, I know $12 right now does not seem like a lot. I mean, that's not even a 10x. But if you bought down here, you would be very happy, even with $5 in my opinion. I mean, like I said, you should learn to not get too greedy and you should sell at some point. You should not hold all of your coins for the bear market. Of course, that's not my financial advice, that's just my opinion. That's what I am doing. And yeah, you know, if you are already up like 5 to 10x, I'm not saying that you should sell everything, but you know, you should at least take some profits and at least get back your money that you invested. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our Discord server, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.